on stress is usually linked to insecurity. If one is insecure at his workplace, he will be so under pressure. Other things, economic factors, maybe the income is low. Other things will be maybe things to do with the long working hours. In your understanding, just take a minute and explain to viewers. We'll begin with you, madam. What are the major contributors to workplace stresses?
Yeah, thank you so much. Workplace stress can be contributed in different ways. One of the major contributors is overload, or maybe excess workload at workplace. At times, people get out to do things that are actually overwhelming, maybe things that were not majorly within their roles, but then they are being told to do them. Also, leadership can actually contribute to work stress. How can leadership contribute if your boss is not actually making, if you're not relating well with your boss, it can actually lead to work stress. And also, role conflict can also contribute to work stress. You go to your duty, your roles have been allocated to someone else. Now you don't know what to do. So definitely it will not give you passion to work, because you might be doing duplication of duties. When there is unclear vision in the organization, it can actually lead to work stress, because people might not really understand what they are actually looking forward to achieve. So quite a number, some of those issues actually can contribute. And also when there is no team spirit at the workplace, it can actually contribute to work stress. Lack of motivation at workplace, key things, small things that motivate people, if they are not there, people will not just look forward to come into work stress. And so it just feel like maybe they are not feeling appreciated, they don't feel they don't feel like they are actually worthy to be at that place. So it just kill the morale when they're actually at that workplace. Yes.
Thank you. Prof, would you like to add?
Yeah, thank you so much. As you understand, stress is any strain or pain that you may experience in whichever environment that you are, and this strain or pain can be both physical or psychological. And therefore in the working environment, there are various conditions that can make you be stressed. For instance, the issue of delayed salaries or pay, the issue of some disciplinary measures meted on you, maybe warnings, suspensions, or even interdictions can do that. Apart from that, a hostile environment, which my colleague has shared, whereby we have maybe punitive kind of environment, authoritative and all that, where you are harassed here and there. And also when you sense there is high staff turnover, people are leaving the organization, you may imagine maybe you would be the next one. In line with that also, the issue of low pay and working for long hours, so that you don't have time for yourself, you don't have time for your family, you don't have time for your friends. And apart from that also, operating in an environment where you don't have the freedom to air your views, you don't have measures or other channels of communication are not very clear. And apart from that also, areas of tribalism, nepotism being practiced in an environment will always make you feel that any time you may be a victim, so you'll not be settled. Thank you.
Whoa.
And also maybe just to add something, external factors can actually have their head in the workplace. For example, external in relation to the workplace. External here could mean if the person is going through internal issues, like at home, the family issues might actually affect him at home. And so when they come to the workplace, they do not have.
Or maybe someone's character
Yes.
has led him into conflict with society at which he's working.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It will impact on his performance at work.
Yes. And
Wow.
so, for example, relations
Yeah.
outside the workplace can actually cause a burnout or a stress at the place of work. Family issues can actually have their head in the workplace. If at home, for example, the person is not comfortable, then you cannot expect this person to perform well at the workplace. So they will feel disconnected. Somehow it will also just affect.
Right.
Yeah.
Prof, how does psychological support put in context the Kenyan society and Western community in particular? Traditionally, Western Kenya community is a Mulembe nation. Mulembe is actually it was a translation, direct translation from the Jewish word shalom. Peace, generally. But then that does not come in with the mechanism to protect people from various stresses. So how can we encourage our society or our communities to be the first as in the first line of defense or the first line of protection to this particular person?
Yeah, thank you so much. With regard to psychosocial support, these are strategies or other measures that are supposed to be put in place to help one cope with stress. And these psychosocial support measures may involve one putting in a mechanism of just encouraging others, reassuring them, encouraging the affirmative action, in the sense that even in society we appreciate all gender. In line with that also, we uphold things that will esteem, will build self-esteem, especially also in our children, in the people we interact with, and provide opportunities for them to exercise their talents. Like currently what's happening is that even the current educational system is emphasizing on talent, harnessing of talents, especially through our TVET institution, is one way of doing that. Apart from that, we encourage our people to engage in various cooperative societies, social support system, being able to identify areas they can go for counseling, especially when they are stressed out. And these are structures that we need to build right from society, even in churches. We need to encourage the counseling programs so that they build the individual's confidence, the esteem to undertake certain functions in society. I also want to say that in any association, in any organization within the society, let us have structure, let us have support system. And this support system should come from the family. In our family setup, as parents, let us encourage our children to develop confidence, not to pull them down, not discourage them. And also encourage what we call affirmative action, in the sense that we should not discriminate against gender, against not here, we don't talk of race, but even where people come from. Like, as you know, in Western or any other part of country, there are certain communities that are looked down upon, which should not be the case, but instead appreciate each other.
Yes.
Appreciate each other, and I want to believe that there is always strength in diversity. Thank you.
Whoa. Madam, what would be the symptoms? What can you look at to know that this guy or this working environment is subjecting people to issues that lead them to stress?
There are quite a number of symptoms and they present according to the person. But the most common ones, you'll be able to note when someone is disconnected. Okay, they start disconnect at the place of work. They'll feel disconnected. When you go to their desk, or when you maybe want them to do certain roles, they'll just feel disconnected. Then they'll also have emotional outbursts. For example, others will be very irritable. You go to their desk or you want to talk to them, they'll just feel they are time bombs, you know. They are people who
It's like they're waiting for you to explode.
to explode, yeah. So you can just be able, in fact, you could just be saying hi to them. But the type of response you can get from that person, it will indicate that something is not right. So irritability is one of the symptoms of showing that someone is not well. The disconnectivity, disconnecting from most of the things that are happening at the workplace. Then they withdraw from team spirit. Like we used to do things together, but they just want to be
Alone.
They feel withdrawn. They just want to be alone. In fact, they'll be able to explain a very good answer for you just to keep off. Just keep off from them. So withdrawal symptoms. And at times, and I don't know why, others might just get into a certain form of craving. Like they can just try to be eating quite a lot of food. And to some level, it is a way the body tries to cope with the threats of the stress. But you just find people getting into a lot of eating. And also maybe it can also be shown on their physical way. I mean, they used to be small, but they get to bulky. But also this is quite, it varies from one person to another. And also, so the physical way of presentation. For example, someone used to be neatly dressed, but at times you just get them unkempt. Just a way to let you know they are no longer in touch with themselves. The passion they used to have, which means even the self-awareness, the image issue about them has completely gone down.
Okay.
The body image about them has
Don't be, you've described it me enough, you see my hair.
Yeah, when we used to see well groomed, but now you start now showing signs of unkempt. That's a symptom. And at times you don't know. Because stress is not tangible. At times you don't actually know, but slowly it sinks in, and people are able to note that. But you are just disconnected, and in your attitude you don't care. You don't care.
You don't even feel it.
You don't feel it. I mean, of course you are already disconnected with the world. So with you, they're just doing what it is right. But actually we can be able to see that things are not well. And then to some level also you experience headaches. Headaches are likely to come in. Headaches are likely to be a manifestation of the way you present yourself. And also people might start complaining of these heart-related diseases. They used not to have maybe high pressure issues.
It starts showing.
They start showing, people, hey, I went to the hospital and now they have been able to diagnose me with pressure or something. These lifestyle diseases come in because, and then now there's also some who will not even want to come on duty. They will just want to sit in their homes and maybe sleep. Yeah, they will just want to sleep. And at times, even if they came to the place of work, they may just want to doze. Because the body feels exhausted, the body feels overwhelmed. So at times you get them actually dozing. They'll be dozing and all that. And there's the comfort of dozing. You just want to be there and sleep. But it's actually a manifestation that your brain is exhausted, your body is exhausted.
Wow.
So you get someone all the time trying to, you know,
those,
it is a manifestation that things are not right.
If I say you've described 99% of me, I'll be right. Prof, would you like to add? But then I also want you to look at the stigmas that come with with the mental health.
It's okay.
Because what she's describing is actually one of the early signs of mental health.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to look at it and just maybe add and then bring out in our society.
Yeah.
Whenever we could see someone who's challenged mentally, we tend to isolate them. We tend to subject them to certain waters. Just respond to that, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Apart from what my colleague has raised, as you understand, stress moves from one level to another. There are mild signs of stress, for instance, what she has mentioned, including even being depressed, very sad. The fellow has no happiness at all. Apart from that also, as the situation worsens, the individual becomes disoriented, in the sense that he now has what we refer to as thought disorders. He now starts imagining that people don't like him, or the environment doesn't like him.
Yes.
And therefore, in that case, the individual develops what we call delusions, false beliefs that even people want to murder him, people want to bewitch him, people want all that. So those negative thoughts, as they build up, he experiences what we call hallucinations, where he starts experiencing unfamiliar, hearing unfamiliar voices, seeing unfamiliar things. And you see, to the extreme that the fellow may even avoid buildings because he imagines the buildings will collapse on him. And that gravates into another level that we refer to as schizophrenia or schizophrenia level, where the individual experiences what we call psychosis. Psychosis, in common language, we refer to as mental illness. And this mental illness may require one to be taken to a psychiatrist so that they address the root cause, because it may require some medication. And in line with that also, as that happens, cases of accidents occur, injuring people, and that's why you hear cases of femicide, killing of others, yes, and all that coming up. And therefore, as a society, we need to be very keen, even as we interact with the people. When we see changes, if somebody has lived the level of being cancelled, then he needs to go to a psychiatrist. And I'm happy in our hospitals, like at the county referral hospital here, we have those psychiatrists who can now take him through medical examination, medical treatment, and all that. In line with that, therefore, I want to say that mental health as a society, it is something that we need to embrace right from the family. We need to understand, because we are looking at the state of the individual's well-being, which the family has the responsibility of ensuring that the mental state of this individual is good. Because if we don't address it, then it will actually move to a level that we refer to as mental health disorder. Okay, thank you.
I just wanted to ask.
Thank you.
Like now, the way we just explained these symptoms, you used to behave well. You talked of stigma. You know, we know Kitui to be someone who has been very good, someone who likes work and all that. So where the stigma and now the society comes in a negative way is when they now start now talking about you in a negative way, because you are not presenting things the way you used to do, but now you are presenting them in a negative way, in the things that they don't reflect you. But instead of now helping you, instead of being empathetic, instead of maybe trying to wonder how can we even help you, they can now start talking ill about it. When they start now having those small talks behind your back, that is now what will now make you get out, get even more aloof. It will make you now
withdraw more,
get into cocoon, and now feel like now that is where you belong. And so once you are there, remember the stress levels are getting high, and that now they go to what my colleague has just been explaining. You graduate from one level
To another.
and now you become actually sick, mentally ill. You get into psychosis issues. Yet maybe initially it would have been
managed.
And then you see, you talked of headaches.
Headaches.
Prof, I want you to look at it this way. This is a follow-up question. Some people cannot sleep at night. Because they know that they will never sleep. They'll be busy doing everything else. Watching movies, staying in clubs, up to like late, sometimes 1, 2 a.m. Then we go sleep for an hour, and that's it. So this same person will be dozing off at work.
Yes.
Another one will sleep early and wake up early. Like you went to bed at 9, you are up at 11, and you are sleeping. You are not sleeping again. Headache, pain,
yes,
is a sign that you are alive. It tells you that there is life here.
Yes.
So when you feel headache and when sleep goes away, and things are happening at work, the things you talked about, hallucinations, accidents, femicides in families, how are we supposed to respond to that? Number one, we need to understand, to know first. So how do we come to that level of knowing? Then we can be able to support this person.
Thank you so much. One thing is that, let us create an environment that is conducive, an environment that gives an opportunity for the individual that's moving to that level to open up. And once he opens up, we need to address what could be the cause. Like over 50% of cases of stress at the job emanate from the family. Yes. In fact, what is at the job being manifested are just symptoms, but the root cause could be the family. I want to say that families, based on our cultures, have certain things that can pose threat or is to stress. For example, there could be issues of impotence, which is also contributed by stress. Infertility, the issue of childlessness, the issue of single cells. Like some communities, if you have only boys, they want to insist that you must get girls.
Africans are way of doing that.
Yes.
We married to the second wife.
Yes. So when such a thing happens, being, for example, a lady, she will be forced. No, the man will be told, can you look for another one? Yes, another lady, like that. So those family threats. Also, going by what's happening economically now, where some of our pay slips are more or less like emaciated, you are not able to meet the needs of the family. You arrive home, the budget is there. You are not able to do it. But most importantly, also the issue of health. And I'm happy the government has come up with SHA. We hope it will be able to address some of the things, because some of the ailments are not covered. They are not covered in form. And I want to bring to the attention of the viewers that stress is not a disease. It's a condition which, if addressed early, managed early, it will not graduate to that levels. Yes. It's a condition.
It's not a disease?
It's not a disease.
It's a condition.
It's a condition.
Many workplaces are informal. Like you see, you set up a jewelry shop, you employ 2 or 3 people, and that's it. But then these workplaces don't have systems to manage the staff that are contributing to the growth of that organization. But then that kind of stress also makes people vulnerable to being stressed. How would you like to talk to employers? What would you like to tell the employers? Or anyone who is employing 1 or 2 people?
First of all, it is important that they really actually appreciate the fact that stress is present. And when you recognize and appreciate and acknowledge that it can actually be there, because even the employers themselves, just like what we have said, stress doesn't attack, certain people.
Yeah.
Because even the person who is stressing you could be also be stressed. So
the reason why he's objecting you to these issues is because of issues in his own life or her own life.
Like what my colleague has said, these stressors can be actually from home, from family. We all come from families, so or lack of family. So when this person comes and is actually the boss at the workplace, you don't know what he's carrying, and that is actually what can stress other people. So first of all, like what he has just said, it is the fact that we need to acknowledge that these stressors, these conditions can attack any of us. So once you realize that, then you'll be able now to seek your own self-awareness. You reflect what could be the factors that can stress me. What are the symptoms that I'm actually manifesting that are likely to affect other people? Now, if there is no way you can help other people if you are sick, there is no way you can give what you don't have. Do you? You can't. So if I'm sick myself, how will I help another person who is sick? So first of all, it is actually a clarion call that first of all, let us deal with ourselves. Whoever you are, at whichever level, let us find ourselves. Am I having any stresses? Am I stressed? What could be the issues that are stressing me? Once I'm strong enough, then I can help other people. You can now be able to be empathetic to anybody who is working around you, because you realize that they are coming from different situations. If someone is coming to your office and they are actually just looking for 5,000 shillings at the end of the month, that's heavy. That is heavy. It means that is the only livelihood they're hanging on. So what could be the home situation be like? What could be the person going through? So that is not an easy thing. It can actually now trigger the conditions of stress that we are talking about. Therefore, as an employer, you need to be aware of that. Don't add more stress to that person. Be empathetic. Let us be able to have people around us who are able to manage stress. Let us be strong enough for each other. Peer counseling is very important. You are an employer, try to do peer counseling. Help people. Occasionally just have a talk. Let us talk. It cannot be deep, but occasionally just even 10 minutes. How are you, Mr. Kituli? How is it going? Just try to see how people are managing issues. Might not solve everything, but that's my alone.
Just talking to them, making them feel part
of the organization.
It makes a lot of difference to someone, because maybe for a whole week, someone has not just talked to that person. It's always just working, go home, you go to your own cocoon, sleep, come, start working, and it can break you down. But you can imagine you come on duty, and someone just said, good morning, Caroline, how are you doing? It feels so nice.
Prof, you see, what Madam is saying reminds me of coming into the 2000s, mostly after 2010, when we got the new constitution, people got a lot of freedoms. Then employees within various workspaces started talking something to do with side hustles, because they're saying what they're getting at work is not enough to meet their obligations. So side hustle thing started very prominently after the 2010 constitution. Many workers went into side hustles, and some of them not without pressure, because they demanded a lot of their time. Could the incomes and the desire to increase cash flow be one of the biggest contributors at this informal working environment?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Actually, what you are raising is very important. As people get into these side hustles, some of them have no time for themselves. They don't have time for their families. They don't have time even to relax. You can chase money, but you also need time for yourself. Your body has a limit beyond which it can work. you may become just a machine if you are not very careful. So what we want to say is that it is good to look for income, but it's also good to use the same money for you to relax. Have time for yourself, have time for your friends, have time also to look even at your health is very key. Because some people out of that, even going for treatment becomes a problem. They may be working and sick. And therefore we urge employers, one is that let them be able to avail adequate resources to their employees. If it's an office, should have enough infrastructure, offices, furniture and all that. Because if people work in a congested environment, they are bound to be stressed, bitter with others. The medical scheme is very important. I'll comfortably work if I know that if one of my family is unwell, I'll be taken care of without... Because disease can come anytime, even when it's mid-month and all that. Those are some of the frustrating issues. So health scheme, we also need to have proper guidance and counseling program. Initially, it had not been embraced, but we appeal to organizations to have it because it will help address some of these issues of depression, some of anxiety and all that. There should be clear communication channel within the organization so that information flow well. Otherwise, it can also create an environment where some people feel discriminated. They're in an organization, but they don't know what's going on. But above all, let us ensure that it is worker-centered organization, where the workers have the freedom, have a right to make some contribution towards the growth of the organization.
Yes.
In this country, there is what we call the Kenya mental health policy. And one thing, it has very good ideas that if organization embrace that, that will be good. We also have what we call the Kenya Mental Health Action Plan of 2021 to 2025. It's also a very good policy that organizations, that's formal organization, can do that. But above all, even informal organizations, informal sector, even like the Juakali and all that, there is need to train the members or the officials that apart from just working, the welfare of any employee is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you so much, Madam. You guys are so, one want to listen to you more and more. No wonder you're psychologists. Yes. When we come back from the break, I want to encourage my guests to talk to us about a few things at workplace, and then we'll end there. But for now, let me tell you about JFC, Munene College of Health Sciences. One of the things I have realized is opportunities. When you go to school, when you get specific skill, you want to be assured and guaranteed that the skill I'm getting is going to give me specific returns, maybe an employment, or maybe it's going to give me the needed skills to set up my operations. At JFC Munene College of Health Sciences, that's what the college does. It prepares you, it will prepare you in a manner that will be independent, you'll be relied upon, you'll be reliable to the society, you'll be depended upon. When you are in a place, no one will have issues to do with what you're doing because you will be well equipped. Check it out. You place a call to 0700 114 115, 0703 114 115, 0705 114 115. You can also check out their website www.jfccollege.ac.ke. When we come back, we'll continue from there.
The Morning Scoop is sponsored by JFC Munene College of Health Sciences.
West TV, tazama ilivyo. Welcome to JFC Munene Colleges, where education meets innovation. Our mission is to provide our students with a world-class education that prepares them for the future. We offer theater technology, orthopedic technology, mortuary science, science lab technology, counseling psychology. At the College of Business Technology, we offer hospitality, business and accountancy, fashion and design. We are not just preparing our students for the future, we are shaping it. Come join us at JFC Munene College of Health Sciences, where the possibilities are endless.
Oh my goodness, I have a gallery there, works of art. I've done so much for this country.
Within the next 50, 40 years, 100 years, we shall have a Banyole, no Babaluya.
No kole kazi, no tiya nende tsingufu. Nyasa leta kumeta ebindu bindi bino byose.
Kunaleta abana befwe abesekana nabasyani okudekya okubana bima bilayi nende nibadekya banadekya bakana babamanyire okulazi pakakula.
Nebusamye niyo bakangala nikusika balingange kuba batulire inibecha.
Makabusareti neche namukulira virumbeti, namukulira namwako chisendi.
Nasomya babana almost free. From here, I have a professor in Spain. Baliyo balala mubarabara kanajewe ni yahumu yaya kimyandu kyenyi.
Buli mesina buli no mujamutira sabuli memwaka nabamayali ngo amungonera byakhulya.
Bone babana masone kumukundata. Okukonda no kana kana abana bano khasome bari.
Chingana kaniche.
Una mala wakana kana luka aline your brain is broken.
This is the Morning Scoop, with the right dose for your daily inspiration and insight. Join me every Tuesday morning as we bring you the Morning Scoop.
As we see more developments are coming up, the bus park is almost also complete. We have a number of things that are coming up.
Information is not just data, but it is power. It is able to empower you and enable you to turn around and bring change. Join me every Tuesday morning for in-depth analysis.
West TV, tazama ilivyo.
The Morning Scoop is sponsored by JFC Munene College of Health Sciences.
When we went to the break, Prophet just started by saying something to do with chasing money. And we need to get to a point where we need to start attracting money. That way, it will be easy for us, as in you attract money with specific things which you do. That way you will not be chasing it, it will be following you. Let's begin with you, Prof, before I go to Madam. You see, this chasing of money culture, the hustle culture, you said it denies us even our personal times. This is a largely Christian community, and we tend to also include God in what we do. Is it because there is it because of lack of knowledge? Is it because people are not equipped with information that they tend to become vulnerable to workplace stresses by involving themselves too much on the hustle culture? Or what is it? Because when you go to church, the minister will tell you, give and you'll be blessed. Okay? So you know that by giving, I'll be okay. But then at the end of the day, you gave and you reduce what you had. So the blessings will come, but they're not immediate. Okay? Now, when you are drawing from that small cash box that you have to give so that you can receive, and then there is betting. Okay, betting is so much rampant in our community, and it's also attracting a bit of consuming a lot of time from most of our people. Now that one also is there. And then the hustle culture. I need to run a shop, I need to run a boda, I need to do this, I need to manage that, I need to take a tender, those kind of things. Then you are employed. what is the best way to navigate? Because we need to do all these things. We need to go to church, we need to support church in activities, we need to run borders for people to use, we need all these services. But how can one navigate through all this and still be productive and effective?
Yeah, thank you very much. Working is not bad, but as you work, understand one thing, that this work at one time, ensure that you work within your means, your abilities. Don't overstretch. There are people who hustle, even doing jobs that are not even in line with their training, and that becomes more stressful. Apart from that also, we need to understand that it's good to live within your means. Because you have seen so and so with certain things, you also want to. Each one of us, God has blessed him in a different way. And apart from that also, we need to understand that we are human beings. And being human beings, therefore, we have limitations. We need to encourage our people to work smart. If you embrace the culture of working smart, you will attract resources instead of chasing them all the time. But apart from that, also understand that even as you chase for these hustles, you are a human being with a body that also gets tired. It also needs to rest at one point. And I normally encourage people that it is good to live within your means and live today.
Forget about tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank God for what you have, however small it is. Because we know it's God who provides. And he knows what is good for you or what is adequate for you. But in all that we do, also understand that health is important. Health is important. I've had to do hustles. At one time I would shuttle in several universities, but I realized I was not making anything. Instead, I would get more fatigued. What you get at the end of it all is very little. You don't factor in the time you have spent and the energy that you have used.
You guys call it moonlighting?
Moonlighting, yes. But if you are somebody who is focused, budget your time, budget your whatever resources that you have, you will find that you don't have to strain a lot hustling. Yeah. And living within your means and knowing that each one of us is endowed differently. Knowing that we belong to certain background. There are certain background whereby somebody is like it is 100 meters hurdle. You are given a baton. So wealth was handed over, but for you maybe it was dropped. You had to go back and pick it.
Yes.
There's no way you can compete.
You are not on the same level.
You are not on the same level. So sometimes unhealthy competition
is not so healthy.
Yes, it's not so healthy.
Madam, you see, when he talks about that, I look at primary school teachers.
Yes. Yeah.
Most of them are almost on the same grade.
Yes.
They earn almost the same amount of money. Okay? But when you look at the way some of them are dressed, you say this one is struggling with something.
Yes.
One of them is fairly comfortable. She or he could be driving. He's a primary school teacher.
Yeah.
They earn the same amount of money. But one is driving and one is not. One is welcomed, one is not.
Yeah.
One is struggling with everything, and one is enjoying life. Using that as an example, I want you to just comment on what he has just said and draw a line between living within means and finding ways to attract additional resources so that you can enjoy your life the way you want to.
Thank you so much for that. Actually, life can be enjoyed in whichever form.
Yeah.
It is only you who can now define what enjoyment means.
Mzinga, many kipata mzinga na enjoy.
So actually, we can all enjoy life if we remain realistic. Caroline and Prof are totally two different people. We went to the school together, we are age mates, we were all maybe number ones. We are all doing counseling, but we are all different. So the most important thing is for all of us to be aware of ourselves. Also let us know we are all different. There is no way, even our hand, we always use our hand to show that these hands, they belong to the same, our fingers belong to the same hand, but they are all different, but they are all important. What does it mean? Even us as human beings, we are all different. And that is why there is no way I can compare myself with someone else. That is one. Let us be aware of who we are. If you overstretch the elasticity in us, that is now what will lead to the whatever we are discussing about the stress. So let us all be aware of our limits. You talked of the school situation. It's just like you go to a class and you give a mean grade of a target mean grade of maybe 6 points or 7 points. Yet most of these children are actually just scoring D's, C's, the best is a C+. And here you are giving a mean grade of C point something at the end of the year. Is it realistic? Unless you are going to get it illegally or unethically. So what we are trying to do is, it is all applicable in our situations. Let us appreciate the uniqueness and the differences we have. We can't all do the same things. We can never be on the same line. Understand yourself, evaluate yourself, reflect on yourself, and ask yourself, what is it that I'm able to achieve? You are going to overstretch, and by the time you reach on the other side, you collapse and die. Who is going to enjoy whatever you got? When you overstretch a lot, you might actually achieve the overstretching, but the moment you just reach on the other side, collapse, you end your life, and someone else who never struggled will come and enjoy everything. I don't know if you are going to be happy.
I think you could, because you have a say about who will come and eat what in
Yeah, but that is actually basically what we mean.
What we mean.
Even at the workplace, you overstretch a lot. You can stay on your desk for the whole night. Tomorrow morning you are ever there, you get stressed. When you collapse, tomorrow, before they bury you,
someone else
suitable replacement.
In fact, before you die, there's a replacement.
Actually, because of medical conditions, they will say this one is not now in this position because you are not able to deliver. So let us just be aware of ourselves. It is high time, just like what my colleague has said. If you don't know how to do it, a counselor can help you come to terms with who you are. They will help you to understand and evaluate yourself, because whatever we are doing is not realistic. Why are we chasing so many things and yet it is not within our means? Yeah.
You see, the issue,
it's important that we do understand.
The issue of being aware of what she's just saying is key, actually, Prof, because you could toil. Make sure that everyone else around you is happy. Your boss is happy because of the deliverables. Your family is happy because you brought them enough bread and bananas and apples. Your colleagues, your peers are enjoying the zingers you're giving them. But what about yourself?
That is it.
And SMEs, which employs the bulk of our people driving our economy, are actually custodians of this workforce.
Majority.
What will you tell them? What will you tell owners of these SMEs, these employers? What is it you can tell them to help their workforce? Because they need someone to talk to them. And you see, there's no way you can come and bring a budget to an organization and say your organization needs 50,000 shillings a month for a psychologist to come in. This is Western Kenya. We don't need a psychologist. I'll just go to church and we'll pray and all will be well. But then the stress at work is costing the organization. What is it you can tell employers about involving psychologists so that we bring in a bit of their input? It may not be on a monthly basis. It will be quarterly. It will be once a half a year or twice a year. Someone to come and talk to these people about priorities and living within means.
Thank you so much. One thing I want to appreciate the role that SMEs are playing, especially under the means of cooperative and SMEs. We really appreciate their role in ensuring that our economy develops. However, as you do that, it's very important that you should be mindful of the welfare of the workers. One thing that we need to do is that we need to encourage our organizations to give time to even external resource persons to come and talk to the employee on so many aspects. Number one is just on work ethics, which is very important, how to work in an organization. How do we create an environment where the worker believes or belongs, feels he belongs. Another area that has been assumed is preparation for retirement. Many of the employees, when they're in organization, they imagine that they will stay there for good, not knowing that at one time they will leave. It's only until he or she is informed that he has a year to go, that's when he realizes he has to leave. And some of them may want to stick there. I've seen organizations, even after somebody leaving or retiring, he keeps on coming. He puts on a tie or a coat, going on duty.
And is retired.
Is retired without a pay. Yeah, he has not accepted. And normally we tell people that any job you engage in, always know that, think of that one time you exit. In fact, as you get in, know very well that you're on your way out. And
you should not count up. Down, count down.
Yes.
When
but
you are here, like
yes.
I'm here, this is 2025.
Yes.
I'm counting down.
So you prepare your exit.
Giving myself targets that within this year or within this month I must do this.
Yes.
Because next month I may not be here.
It may not be here. And we also want to appeal to organizations that let them have connection with other referral services.
Okay.
Like we have what you call rehabilitation centers to take care of those that are engaged in alcohol and drug abuse. We don't send them away. We can give a second chance to go to the rehabs. And so there must be provision for that. Or return. There must be proper promotion procedures, because we've realized that in many organizations people break down because when they realize that policies do with the promotions are unfair to them. Your junior moves up to be your boss the following day. Also demotions, they are like that. There must be proper procedures. Apart from the terms and the conditions of work, they should be spelled out so that an individual is able to predict the future, not just being there,
not knowing what being in the dark.
Yes, it's uncertain. And once we do that, then we shall have a healthy workforce. But most importantly, in a developing country like Kenya, the medical scheme is key, because people spend a lot in terms of medicine, in terms of drugs. And you will find that in organizations where the environment is toxic, the bills for medication are very high. And there is high staff turnover, a lot of conflicts. You will handle so many cases of disciplinary simply because people are subject to a lot of pressure. A lot of it. And that one affects performance and output.
Wow. I wanted to make an input to that. Just an addition. Just wanted to give an example. I do wellness programs with different organizations, and I don't want to name, but there was one that they actually acknowledged that they were sick in reports. How were they sick? We just went through a simple exercise just to share what each one does on a daily basis. And so the employer watched, because we did it, we normally do it as a team. We all, participate going through all these programs. So at this particular time, when all of them were actually talking of what they do on a daily basis and what they are expected to meet as targets at the end of the day, I could see the boss, he actually started to cry. Yeah. And I asked him, why are you crying? For a council that was good, but I was wondering why. He says, I feel that I'm really frustrated these people. I expect too much, but it's just too inhuman in me. And from that time, this is one of the organizations that has changed the outlook, the way they do things, the way they are handling the employees is totally different. I believe at one time, maybe I can come with that person just to share the experience. And right now the employees are very, I will say that they are really coping, they are able to do things within their reach. Because it was like, have I been expecting these things from these people? Yet he made a lot of money, but what these people were going through were actually life-threatening.
Okay.
So what we are trying to say, in any situation, maybe let us be empathetic. Put yourself in the shoe of the person who is going through all this. At the end of the day, yes, it is possible to yield results. Let us just be empathetic. Reflect on, if you are in that position, will you do the same things? And at the end of the day, let us also be realistic. Life is not coming to an end just because you have not done something. Just because you've not met the target. What if you don't meet the target? Will the clock stop working? Will the world go down? What if there is a loss but people are healthy? It makes a lot of sense. So let us be realistic, let us be empathetic, let us be human as employees, as employers. It makes a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, just like we described, how stress moves, it reaches now to chronic levels where now you are beyond repair. Where just because you worked somewhere, just because you are in this organization, we give you a condition that is going to be permanent, it is not fair.
Whoa, an hour is not so big with that.
Stop.
Before I let you go, I want you to just a last word.
Yes,
what will do? 1 minute?
Yeah, thank you so much. One is that, thank you. One is that we need to understand that stress as a condition is with us. And statistics have shown that 5% of the world population is under depression. In line with that, for every 10 people, 4 people have mental issues. Every 4. And therefore, it is up to each one of us to understand the symptoms and the causes of stress. And once we understand that, that will be the beginning of managing stress in workplace. Thank you.
Madam, 1 minute.
Thank you so much. Stress is not tangible. It's not easy to hold it and know that you are stressed. But it is possible for other people to know that we are actually undergoing stress. And whenever it reaches that level, just know that we are heading into a danger mode, that our life is threatened. And therefore, do not hold it alone. You're not alone. You can approach someone else to help you, someone who is able to understand you, someone who is more who is more able to know that this is not good for you, and who is more empathetic to you. At Selina Center, and we at Selina Peace Center and Training Institute, we have a team of counselors that can help you go through the stress situation and actually be able to overcome it, and majorly we help people to manage stress. So welcome at Selina Peace Center and Training Institute, where we do training in counseling psychology, we do mediation programs, we do sign language, we do positive parenting programs, because these are programs that can help people be able to manage their own stress either at workplace or at their own individual places. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's 10 o'clock. My director will be happy if we left so that the programming can continue. Thank you for staying with us. And as I told you, this show is on YouTube, West TV Live. You can always get it. Follow us on West TV, leave us a comment, subscribe, and share. You can always follow us on X at West TV_Kenya, at Mr. Kitui. We're on YouTube, we are on Facebook, West TV, and Kitui. It's called Okwasimiti CKS. You can always find us there. You can always leave us a comment, leave us a message, and always when we're on our social media, please like, share, and subscribe. On behalf of Calvin Kibet and on behalf of my sponsors, JFC Munene College of Health Sciences, this is CKS. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
The Morning Scoop is sponsored